In last week's episode on how to deal with the fear of public speaking, I talked about the value of preparation, and I briefly mentioned content and delivery. I'd like to go a little bit more in depth into that right now. Speech preparation begins with the content. What structure are you going to use? What stories are you going to tell? What's your foundational phrase? What is your premise? That every canned statement that forms the backbone of your presentation. If you haven't heard of a premise before, it could be as simple as every person can achieve their goal. It has the word every and it has the word can in it. It's a positive phrase that the speaker has in mind, and everything in the speech lines up with the premise. Working on the content also has to do with, are you going to include things like similes or metaphors? Characters, dialogue. What is the conflict? What is the overall theme of your presentation? Are there sentences that you need to shorten up? Do sections need to be made more succinct? This is where the CPR comes in that I talk about, the crafting, preparing, and revising of that message. I spent countless hours working on content when I was competing in the Toastmaster speech contests. There's always something else to revise, something else to tweak, something else to refine. Then, when you have the content more or less where you really want it to be, then it comes time to start working on the delivery, internalizing that message so that it becomes a part of you. And when you open up your mouth, it just comes right out of your very soul. And there's different things that you can do to help work on internalizing the delivery. One thing that worked really well for me is to work on the delivery of my speech before I went to bed at night. Our brains retain more when we rest after we study. It's something that I learned when I was in college, and it has served me very well when it comes to internalizing a speech. You can also practice with a family member or a colleague. Get feedback from them. You can also video yourself and then watch yourself afterwards. Watch with the sound on, watch with the sound off. Can you tell where you are in your speech without even hearing what it is that you're saying? Content and delivery and the time spent on them will set you up for success when you are ready to deliver your message. There is no such thing as too much preparation. If you think of athletes, by the time you see them compete in their sport on any level, whether it's a world championship, an Olympic level, a local level, what you see play out when they're competing is a result of all the hours and the time that they spent behind the scenes working on their performance. And the very same principle is true for public speaking. If you have a fear of it and you want to work on it, the key is to just do it. And set yourself up for success by putting the time in to work on preparing the content and the delivery.